Jordan, thanks for joining us on Panthers TV. Obviously, a handful of games gone now in League and Cup. How do you assess the team's start to the season?
I think pretty good overall. I think it's quite clear there's things that we needed to improve on from game to game. But I think overall, I think we're second or third. Not that it really matters at this point, but you're always kind of looking how you're comparing to other teams, and obviously we need to be up there, and just trying to keep building on what we're doing really.
It's always interesting when a new dynamic comes. Obviously, there's a lot of players back from last year, which hasn't happened for a while at this club. But you've got a handful of new faces. What has the dressing room dynamic been like?
It's been good. Like you said, there's obviously quite a few guys returning, so it's just trying to, make the new guys understand obviously how the league works, and the league being the priority, and the cup, obviously, starting right from the beginning of the season, and every game is crucial in that. So, you just try and explain that as best you can, but the best way for them is obviously through experience. And obviously the game with Coventry in the cup was kind of a good example of that. If we'd have won that, we'd have gone right through. Now we have another game to play, so they get it. They're very understanding of it, and we're all pulling in the same direction, that's for sure.
You mentioned Coventry, and I'll go back to the game against Coventry on Saturday night. I think it's very hard in hockey to get a perfect 60-minute performance, but let's look back at that third period. Do you feel that's as close to kind of the hockey that this club wants to see?
I would say so, and I think obviously Harry's goal at the start of the period probably, buried that game for us. But that's probably been our weakness at the moment, is not having that 60-minute performance. I know it's obviously really cliche to say, but we've kind of been playing well for a period, and then not taking a period off, but obviously not playing how we want, and that's cost us in a few games. So, like you said, if we could play like that for every period here on out, then we're going to do pretty well. But obviously, it's not that easy.
You forged a nice partnership with Ollie and Finlay. Obviously, you've not been together all the time because of injuries, but when you've had those opportunities, I've seen a lot of praise for the work that you guys have done on the ice. How do you feel you've been going as a trio?
Yeah, I think we've been good overall. I think there's things that we need to tidy up that we know, internally within the lineup and within our line combination. But of course, we'd like to be chipping in more offensively. But I think if we just keep playing together and playing with the energy that we have in the last couple of games, we can do more in that area, and just keep trying to fill that role for the team, and be different. I think that's what we need to be. We need to be that line that's bringing energy and being physical, and ending every shift in the ozone, because that obviously builds pressure for the team, and then the top end guys can go out and do their thing.
Just kind of touch on the weekend. You start with Manchester on Friday. They've already beaten you in this rink, but you've won twice up there, I think, off the top of my head, including pre-season. What sort of threat do you feel they pose?
They're a good team. Every team in the league is good this year. You've seen it, but they're a physical team. They play really hard. They've got some top end guys, like every team does. So we just need to be playing our game and be ready right from the get go. I think some of the games have probably not started the way we wanted to. So I think first objective, start the game well and just build into it that way, and just play how we can and play with confidence. So focus on us rather than other teams, I think, in my opinion.
Just finally, you kind of made a point on it there. Does it show that there's great accountability? Because here we are, second in the table, in the early season table, like you said, doesn't count for much. We are through to the knockout stages, albeit in the elimination game. So does it show that even though it's been a positive start, the whole dressing room comes out now saying that they do want more still?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter till right at the end of the season, right? Ultimately, we're going to be judged on whether we win any trophies or not, because that's sport. But what we do now is obviously crucial for that. With experience last year, I think we lost the league by probably 4 or 5 points. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it probably boiled down to a couple of games, a couple of crucial games at home that we dropped. So every game right now is so important and huge in obviously the grand picture of everything. And like I said earlier, it's just trying to get the guys to understand that, and which they do, and keep bringing the best version of our game that we can to obviously get these results early on and keep pushing.
Thanks for joining us, Jordan, and good luck for the weekend.
No problem. Thank you.